I taught comparative literature at the University of Washington for 25 years. I can spot a stolen thesis statement from the first paragraph. I know that voice, tone, and syntax are like fingerprints. No two people write exactly alike. So when Captain James Miller, a rugged U.S. Army peacekeeper stationed in Syria, sent me a soul-bearing email titled, "My Vow to You," I didn't cry tears of joy. I squinted. For weeks, his texts had been broken, full of slang and typos. "How you doin', babe? I miss you." Sudden, short bursts. But this letter? It was Shakespearean. It was poetic. It flowed with the rhythm of a 19th-century romance novel. "My love for you is a journey, starting at forever and ending at never." Beautiful. But it wasn't him. I highlighted the sentence. I right-clicked. I selected Search Google for. 0.4 seconds later, the truth punched me in the gut. That exact sentence appeared on 4,500 different websites. It was in a script called The Soldier's Vow, used by romance scammers from Lagos to Manila. He wanted $15,000 for a diplomatic box delivery. He thought he was seducing a lonely retiree. He didn't know he was submitting a plagiarized essay to the strictest professor on campus. And I decided to give him a failing grade. Thank you for being here. I truly believe this story will help you, or help you save someone else, by recognizing the signs of a scammer. These are things we all need to know. So, this is the perfect moment. Hit the like button and subscribe. You guarantee you won't miss any of the upcoming stories without having to search for them. Now, back to it. I lived a quiet life in Seattle. My house was filled with books, the smell of rain, and the silence that comes after a divorce. My husband left me 5 years ago for a younger woman. A cliché, I know. Since then, I had buried myself in my research. I joined Silver Singles, not because I was desperate, but because I was curious. My daughter, Emily, insisted. "Mom, you need to talk to someone who isn't a fictional character from 1850. Then came James. Profile, name, Captain James Miller, age, 58, occupation, U.S. Army/Peacekeeping Force, location, Damascus, Syria, deployed, status. Widower. His photos showed a man in fatigues, standing in front of a dusty jeep, looking tired but honorable. He had salt and pepper hair and a strong jaw. He looked like the kind of man who chopped wood and protected the innocent. Our first conversations were simple. He asked about my books. He asked about the rain in Seattle. "I miss the rain," he texted. "Here, it is just sand and sun. It dries out your soul." It was a nice line. A bit dramatic, but fitting for a soldier. We moved to Google Hangouts. He explained that due to OPSEC, operational security, he couldn't video chat or make phone calls. The base was on lockdown. "I accept that," I typed. "Safety first." I was cautious, but I was charmed. He seemed interested in my mind. He asked me what I was reading. When I told him Jane Eyre, he said, "Ah, a story of hidden secrets." I was impressed. Most men my age just wanted to talk about their golf handicap. But looking back, I see the cracks. He never answered specific questions. If I asked, "What is your rank again?" he would deflect with, "It doesn't matter, just a soldier." If I asked, "Where did you grow up in Ohio?" he would say, "A small town, you wouldn't know it." He was vague. Vagueness is the enemy of truth. In literature, we call it unreliable narration. In life, we call it a lie. Then, 3 weeks in, the crisis began. "Sarah," he wrote, "we are moving base. It is dangerous. I have some personal belongings, medals, some gold coins I bought here, and my retirement papers. I cannot take them into the combat zone. I need to ship them to a safe place. Can I send them to you?" A box. It's always a box. I hesitated. "James, surely the army has a protocol for that?" "The army will seize it," he said darkly. "They are corrupt here. They will take my gold. I trust only you. You are my soulmate. Then, to seal the deal, to prove his undying love so I would agree to receive this illicit box, he sent the letter. It arrived in my inbox at 4 a.m. Subject: My heart is yours. I opened it with a cup of Earl Grey tea in hand. It was long. 4 paragraphs of dense, flowery prose. My dearest Sarah, as I sit here under the canopy of stars, listening to the distant mortars, I think only of your smile. You are the air I breathe, the song in my heart. Before I met you, I was a ship without a rudder, drifting in the ocean of life. But you have anchored me. I lowered my teacup. A ship without a rudder? That was a cliché. But James usually texted things like, "Did you sleep good?" Or "The food here is baddle." The shift in register was jarring. It was like reading a text message from a teenager and then suddenly reading a page from Wuthering Heights. I put on my reading glasses. I engaged my professor mode. I looked at the syntax. The letter used words like whilst and betwixt. James was from Ohio. People from Ohio don't say betwixt. I looked at the formatting. The font size changed halfway through the second paragraph. From Arial 12 to Times New Roman 11. He had copy-pasted 2 different texts together. I felt a cold flush of embarrassment. Not for me, but for him. It was such a lazy forgery. He hadn't even bothered to format painter the text to make it look uniform. I went to Google. I typed in the first sentence, "My love for you is a journey, starting at forever and ending at never." Results: romancescams.org, The Soldier Script, scamdiggers.com, List of Nigerian love poems, Facebook, Stop Scammers Group. I clicked the first link. There it was. The exact letter. Word for word. Even the punctuation errors were the same. It was a template. A script used by thousands of Yahoo boys to trick women into paying shipping fees for imaginary boxes. I sat there in the morning light. The romantic illusion evaporated instantly, replaced by the sharp clarity of a grading session. He wasn't a soldier. He was a student cheating on an exam. And I hated cheaters. Did you notice the font change? That's the smoking gun. Scammers are often copy-pasting from different scripts, one for love, one for money. They forget to format. If you ever receive an email where the font changes size or style in the middle, stop. You are reading a collage of lies. I didn't block him. Blocking is passive. I wanted to know who I was actually talking to. Was it a lone wolf? A syndicate? And mostly, I wanted to waste his time. Every minute he spent talking to me was a minute he wasn't talking to a vulnerable woman who might actually send him money. I decided to reply. But I wouldn't reply as the swooning girlfriend. I would reply as the confused recipient of a chaotic text. "James," I wrote back. "This letter is beautiful. But I'm confused. In the second paragraph, you mention walking by the Seine. The Seine is in Paris. You are in Syria. Did you mean the Euphrates?" I waited. He replied 10 minutes later. "Yes, baby. Sorry. Autocorrect. I meant the river here. I am just so tired from the war. Did you get the feeling of my love?" "I did," I lied. "But James, about the box. How do you plan to ship it?" Now came the pivot to finance. The action of ruin. "I have a contact," he wrote. "A UN diplomat. He flies out tonight. He can carry the box as a diplomatic pouch. It bypasses customs. But we need to register the box in your name. It costs money for the registration stamp." "How much?" "It is $15,000. It is a lot, I know. But the box has $3 million in gold inside. Once you get it, take the $15,000 back x10. Please. Honey. I have no access to my bank here." $15,000. He wanted me to wire $15,000 to a stranger for a registration stamp. I leaned back. "James, $15,000 is a lot of money. I can't just wire that to a stranger. I need assurances. I need to know this diplomat is real. He is real. His name is Dr. Benson Idahosa. He is a good man. I will send you his email. You talk to him. Dr. Benson Idahosa. I googled the name. It was the name of a famous Nigerian archbishop who died in 1998. He was using the name of a dead celebrity. It was lazy. I decided to escalate. I opened a Word document. I pasted his love letter into it. Then, I turned on track changes. I highlighted the clichés. I corrected the grammar. I added comments in the margin. Comment: this metaphor is mixed. You are a ship, then you are a bird? Pick one. Comment: plagiarized from the notebook. Please cite your sources. Comment: betwixt is archaic. Avoid. I saved the file as James_letter_edited_final.docs. Then, I formulated my plan. He wanted $15,000. I was going to make him work for it. I was going to make him rewrite the letter, over and over again, until he cracked. Gancho, curiosity hook. I sent him a message. James, I want to help with the box. But my late husband was a lawyer. He made me promise never to sign anything or pay anything unless the paperwork was perfect. Your letter. It felt disjointed. If we are going to be partners, we need to be on the same page. I need you to rewrite your vow. I've attached some notes. I attached the file with the red corrections. I imagined his face opening a love letter he sent, only to find it graded like a high school essay. But his reaction wasn't what I expected. He didn't get angry. He got desperate. I waited. A normal man, a real soldier, would have told me to go to hell if I corrected his grammar. He would have said, Sarah, I'm in a war zone, cut me some slack. But a scammer? A scammer is an employee. He is working for a paycheck. And in his mind, the customer is always right, as long as the customer pays. 2 hours later, James replied, Baby, I am sorry. You are right. I rushed the letter because of the mortars. I have rewritten it for you. Please read. I want us to be on the same page. I opened the attachment. vow_version_2.docs. I put on my glasses. It was worse. Much worse. He had clearly used a thesaurus for every other word. My dearest Sarah, my affection for you is a peregrination, commencing at perpetuity and terminating at nullity. You are the oxygen I inhale, the melody in my ventricle. Ventricle. He had changed heart to ventricle. He sounded like a cardiologist having a stroke. I laughed out loud in my empty kitchen. It was tragic. He was trying so hard to sound educated that he sounded insane. I decided to keep playing the strict professor. James, I wrote back. This is better. But ventricle is too clinical. It lacks passion. And you still haven't addressed the mixed metaphor about the bird. But look, I appreciate the effort. Let's move to the next step. I will email Dr. Benson about the payment. But James, if his email has typos, I am going to be very suspicious. My husband was a stickler for details. He is a professional, James assured me. Dr. Benson is a Harvard man. Email him now. Did you see what happened? He obeyed. He rewrote the letter. This proves he isn't a general or a hero. He is a desperate con artist willing to jump through hoops. Never be afraid to ask questions or demand clarity. A scammer will bend over backwards to keep the lie alive. A real person will just tell you the truth. I composed a new email to the address James provided, diplomat.bensondundelivery@gmail.com. First red flag. The United Nations uses @UN.org. They do not use Gmail. But I played along. Subject: Inquiry regarding box delivery for Captain Miller. Dear Dr. Benson, Captain Miller has informed me of a diplomatic consignment. Please provide the invoice and routing instructions for the $15,000 fee. I require a formal invoice. The reply came within 5 minutes. Dear Madam, we are currently holding the consignment, gold/documents, at JFK Airport Customs. To release the box to your address in Seattle, a non-inspection fee of $15,000 is required immediately. Please wire funds to our authorized agent. Attached was a PDF invoice. It was covered in fake stamps, top secret, approved, FBI cleared. It looked like a prop from a bad spy movie. But at the bottom, there was the gold mine. The banking details. Bank name, Wells Fargo account name, Apex Auto Repair and Body Shop, location, Houston, Texas. Routing, number, account. Number. I stared at the screen. Apex Auto Repair. So, the United Nations Diplomatic Corps was using a body shop in Houston to process diplomatic immunity fees? This was the mule. The account likely belonged to a small business owner who was either involved in the scam or, more likely, compromised. Sometimes scammers befriend business owners and ask to borrow their accounts to receive business investments, promising them a cut. I had the account number. I had the name. Now, I could have just reported it to the bank. But banks are slow. I wanted to know who owned Apex Auto Repair. I opened a new tab. I searched the Texas Secretary of State Business Registry. Apex Auto Repair. Owner. Robert, Bob, Henderson. I found his business page on Facebook. It had 200 likes. Photos of a guy in greasy coveralls fixing Ford F-150s. He looked like a normal guy. He was posting about his granddaughter's softball game. Was Bob a criminal mastermind? Or was he another victim, thinking he was helping a foreign investor buy parts? I decided to call the shop. Not as Sarah the professor. As Sarah the customer. I dialed the number on the Facebook page. Apex Auto, this is Bob. Hi Bob, I said, putting on a confused voice. I'm calling because, well, this is strange. My husband is trying to send money to a diplomat for the UN, and he gave me your account number. Is this a mistake? There was a long silence on the line. A diplomat? Bob asked. He sounded genuinely confused. Lady, I fix transmissions. I don't know any diplomats. Are you sure? I pressed. Maybe a business partner? Someone named James or Benson. Wait, Bob said. His voice changed. You mean the guy buying the shop? Mr. Benson? He said he was sending a down payment today for the equipment. Bingo. Bob wasn't a scammer. Bob was selling his shop or equipment, and the scammers were using me, and probably 5 other women, to send the down payment. They would tell Bob, my agent Sarah is sending the money. Bob would receive my stolen $15,000. Then Bob would give the scammers the title to the car/shop, or ship them the equipment. Bob would lose his property. I would lose my money. The scammers would get clean assets. Bob, I said, dropping the act. Listen to me very carefully. The man claiming to buy your shop is a fraud. Do not accept any wires today. If you do, the FBI will freeze your account for money laundering. Who is this? Bob demanded, sounding panicked. I'm a woman they tried to rob. I'm saving your ass, Bob. Block their number. I hung up. I had just burned their mule account. Dr. Benson was about to get a very angry call from a mechanic in Texas. 10 minutes later, my phone blew up. James was messaging me on Hangouts. Sarah, what did you do? Dr. Benson says the account is down. He is furious. The box is at risk of being seized by customs. He was panicking. He had lost his payment funnel. I replied calmly. James, I didn't do anything. I went to the bank to wire the money, but I noticed a grammatical error on the invoice. It said, auto repair, instead of auto repair. I thought it was a typo, so I asked the teller to check the entity. The teller said the account was flagged. I blamed it on grammar. I blamed it on the teller. I wanted him to think it was just bad luck, not a targeted attack. I wanted him to stay on the line so I could get another account. "Oh God," James typed. "That stupid mechanic. He messed it up." "Okay, Sarah. Do not worry. Dr. Benson has a backup account. A priority account. But this one is strictly for Bitcoin. Can you do Bitcoin?" Bitcoin. The end of the line. Once money goes into crypto, it's gone. But crypto wallets are traceable. And if I could get his wallet address, I could flag it on the public ledger as scam associated, marking his funds as dirty forever. "I don't know Bitcoin," I lied. "I'm a literature professor, James. I deal in books, not digital coins. Is there a kiosk? A machine?" "Yes." He was eager now. "There is a Bitcoin ATM at the mall near you." I checked on Google Maps. It is at the Chevron station on 45th Street. He had looked up my neighborhood. He was tracking me. That shiver of fear returned. But I pushed it down. "Okay," I said. "I can go there. But James, I need you to do something for me first." "What?" I rewrote the letter. "What else?" "The letter is still not right," I said. "The emotional arc is flat. If I'm going to walk to a gas station and put $15,000 into a machine, I need to believe in the romance. I need you to record a video. A video of you reading the vow. Out loud." "I cannot. OPSEC. "Then the box stays at JFK," I said. "No video, no money. I need to hear your voice, James. I need to hear the passion." I was pushing him to the brink. Scammers hate video because their accent gives them away immediately. James was supposed to be a white guy from Ohio. If he spoke, he would sound West African. He would have to hire a white actor, a Yahoo Plus tactic, or use a deepfake AI voice. And deepfakes have glitches. Gancho, curiosity hook. He went silent for 20 minutes. Then, a file appeared in the chat. Video.mp4. I downloaded it. I put on my headphones. I clicked play. The video showed a man in uniform. It looked like the photos. His lips were moving. But the voice was robotic. It was perfect American English, but the cadence was off. "My love for you is a journey." It was an AI face animation laid over a stolen photo, synced to a text-to-speech program. It was high-tech. But he made one fatal mistake in the video background. Something that proved he wasn't in Syria. I played the video file, most of us videoed MP4, for the 10th time. The face of Captain James moved stiffly. The mouth movements didn't quite match the words. It was a deepfake, a static photo animated by software to look alive. But scammers are like bad fiction writers. They focus so much on the main plot, the face, that they forget the setting, the background. I turned the volume up to maximum on my Bose speakers. I closed my eyes. I wasn't listening to the robotic voice declaring love. I was listening to the silence behind it. The audio track had a low hum, likely a computer fan. Then, at the 0:14 mark, underneath the fake sound of wind he had added, I heard it. Honk honk. It was a car horn. But not just any car horn. It was high-pitched, frantic, and followed by the distinct sound of a two-stroke engine revving. I paused the video. I knew that sound. Years ago, I attended a literary conference in West Africa. That was the sound of a kiki, a motorized tricycle taxi common in Lagos or Accra. It definitely wasn't the sound of a Humvee in the Syrian desert. And then, right at the end before the video cut, a faint voice in the background shouted something. It was distant, barely a whisper. I opened an audio editing software, Audacity. I used it for recording lectures. I isolated the background frequency and amplified it. The voice said, "A beg, pass the charger. A beg." Pidgin English. He wasn't in a bunker in Damascus. He was in a room with a roommate, asking for a phone charger, while traffic buzzed outside. I sat back. The evidence was irrefutable. He had plagiarized the letter. He had forged the invoice. And now, he had faked his own face. He was a fiction writer. And I was his critic. He messaged me, "Did you like the video, babe?" I risked my life to record it. I typed back, suppressing the urge to correct his grammar again. "James, it moved me to tears. To see your lips. To hear your voice. I am ready. I am walking to the Bitcoin ATM now." "Go. Go now," he replied. "Send me the receipt photo as soon as it is done. The box is waiting." I wasn't going to the ATM. I was going to my kitchen table to construct a Trojan horse. Did you hear that? A beg. One word destroyed his entire narrative. This is why you must listen to your gut, and your background noise. If something feels off, it usually is. Sarah is about to give him a lesson he won't forget. If you love a smart woman in action, hit the like button. He wanted a receipt. A piece of paper proving I had deposited $15,000 into his wallet. I opened Photoshop. I found a template for a General Bytes Bitcoin ATM receipt online. I filled it out. Carefully. Date. Today. Amount. $15,000. BTC amount. 0.54 BTC. Status. Confirmed. It looked perfect. But a picture wasn't enough. I needed to know exactly where he was. I wanted his IP address, his device ID, and his location to send to the authorities, and to scare him straight. I used a service called Grabify. It allows you to take a link and hide it inside another link. When someone clicks it, it logs their data. But James was expecting a photo, not a link. So, I uploaded my fake receipt image to a file-sharing site. Then, I took that URL and ran it through Grabify. I customized the link so it looked legitimate. https://drived google.com/view/receipt_payment_verified_15k. Now, the trap was set. If he clicked the link to see his money, I would own him. I waited an hour. I made myself a sandwich. I read a chapter of Middlemarch. I needed to simulate the time it would take to walk to the gas station, struggle with the machine, and walk back. Scammers are impatient, but if you move too fast, they get suspicious. At 2:30 p.m., I messaged him. "James, I'm back. My hands are shaking. It was so much money. I was scared the machine would eat it." "Did you send it?" he demanded. "Where is the proof?" Dr. Benson is asking. "I have the receipt," I wrote. "But the file is too big to send on Hangouts. It's a high-resolution scan." I uploaded it to my Google Drive. Click this link to verify the transaction code. I pasted the trap link. "Please check it quickly, James. I'm terrified I sent it to the wrong wallet." I appealed to his fear. If he thought I sent it to the wrong wallet, he would click instantly to check. Greed makes people reckless. I switched tabs to the Grabify dashboard. I watched the log. Waiting for click. 10 seconds later. Ping. New connection logged. Date, October 15, 2023, 22 hours 35 minutes and 12 seconds. Local time, IP address. 102.67xx country. Nigeria City. Lagos ISP. MTN Nigeria device. Infinix Note 11 Pro. Android, browser. Chrome mobile got him. He wasn't using a VPN. He was sloppy. I had his exact coordinates in the Ikeja district of Lagos. I had his phone model. And I knew he was looking at my fake receipt right now, seeing the beautiful $15,000 confirmed text. He messaged me instantly. "I see it. I see the receipt. Oh, Sarah. You are my angel. I will tell Dr. Benson to release the box immediately." He was celebrating. He thought the money was real. He thought the Bitcoin was moving through the blockchain, destined for his wallet. He didn't check his wallet balance yet. He trusted the paper. Now, I had a choice. I could just ghost him. I could report him to the FBI, which I would do anyway. But I was a teacher. And when a student submits a plagiarized paper, you don't just fail them. You call them into your office and you make them explain themselves. I wanted to see him squirm. "James," I typed. "I'm so glad you got it. But there is one thing." "What, my love?" "I am packing my bags." I noticed something on the receipt metadata, I wrote. It says the receiver is located in Lagos, Nigeria. Ikeja district. Using an Infinix Note 11 phone. Is the diplomatic box in Nigeria? There was a long pause. The typing bubbles appeared, then vanished. He was processing. How did I know that? What? No. He panicked. That is, the server. The UN server is in Africa for humanitarian reasons. "James," I continued, dropping the persona. "I taught literature for 25 years. I know what a beg means. I know what a kiki horn sounds like. And I know you plagiarized that letter from scamsurvivors.com. I waited. I wanted him to drop the mask. I wanted to meet the real author of this fiction. Sarah. "Don't call me Sarah," I typed. "My name is Professor, last name. And you, young man, have failed this assignment." Then, his tone changed. The soldier vanished. The lover vanished. The angry young man emerged. "You think you are clever," he texted. "You think you are smart. I have your photo. I have your address. I will curse you. I have juju priests who will make you go mad." Juju. Black magic. A common threat when they get caught. I wasn't afraid of curses. I was afraid of bad writing, and he was full of it. "Save your curses," I replied. "I have your IP address. I have your device ID. And I have the bank account of Apex Auto Repair in Texas. I called Bob Henderson, by the way. He knows you're using him. The FBI is watching that account." Gancho, curiosity hook. I expected him to block me. But he didn't. Instead, he sent a voice note. I clicked play, expecting screaming or threats. But the voice wasn't angry. It was laughing. A cold, cynical laugh. "You stopped me, Professor," the voice said, in a distinct Nigerian accent. "Congratulations. But you didn't stop the others. Check your email. The one you used to register for Silver Singles." I froze. I opened my email. There was a new message. Not from James. From Silver Singles support. Password reset request. He wasn't just trying to rob me. He was trying to hack me. And he had been doing it while I was busy making the fake receipt. I stared at the password reset email from Silver Singles. Then another one popped up. Amazon. Verification code. Then another. Chase Bank. Unusual login attempt. My phone started vibrating. Not a call, but text messages. Hundreds of them. Spam subscriptions, verification codes for websites I'd never heard of, newsletters. It was a SMS bombing attack, designed to bury the real security warnings under a mountain of garbage so I wouldn't notice them. I felt a cold sweat prickle my scalp. I thought I was the one in control. I thought I was the cat playing with a mouse. But James had been playing a different game entirely. While I was correcting his metaphors about the Seine River, he had been mining my life for data. I thought back to our late-night chats. "Sarah, tell me about your childhood. Did you have a dog? What was his name?" I had told him. "Barnaby. My mother's maiden name is odd. What is yours?" I had told him. "Miller. What was the first street you lived on?" "I bet it was beautiful." I had told him. "Elm Street." I hadn't been sharing intimate memories. I had been handing him the keys to my digital life. He was using my answers to reset my security questions. I tried to log into my email. Incorrect password. He had changed it. He was inside. My email was the master key. If he had my email, he could reset everything. My bank. My retirement fund. My identity. Panic, sharp and blinding, took over. I wasn't Professor Sarah anymore. I was a victim drowning in a digital flood. I grabbed my landline, thank God I still had one, and dialed the only person who could save me. Emily. I shouted when she picked up. I've been hacked. He's in my email. Who? The soldier guy. Emily asked, her voice calm but alert. Mom, listen to me. Do not panic. Do you have your laptop? Yes. But the passwords aren't working. Okay, he's doing a takeover. We need to cut him off. Put me on speaker. Go to your email provider's recovery page. Now. Did you catch that? The questions about the first pet, or mother's maiden name, aren't small talk. They are lock picks. Scammers use romance to social engineer your passwords. If you have ever told a stranger online your security answers, change them immediately. Don't be a victim of your own memories. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely type. Mom, focus, Emily commanded. Click, forgot password. Choose, verify by phone. Do you see the code? My mobile is going crazy, I said, looking at my cell phone screen which was scrolling endlessly with spam texts. I can't find the code. He's SMS bombing you to hide it, Emily said. Ignore the notifications. Look for the timestamp. Look for the one from Google. It should be at the very top or very bottom. I squinted at the scrolling chaos. Subscription confirmed. Your Uber code is Google verification code 492-001. I got it. I shouted. 492-001. I typed it into the laptop. Identity verified. Create new password. Make it complex, Mom. No literary references. Random numbers and symbols. I typed a string of gibberish. $77. LK #9. Password changed. Sign out of all other devices? Yes. Emily screamed. Click that button. I clicked, yes. On the other side of the world, in that noisy cafe in Lagos, James's screen would have just gone black. I was back in. But the damage assessment had just begun. Check your sent folder, Emily said. See if he emailed anyone. I opened the folder. My stomach dropped. He hadn't emailed my bank. He had emailed my contacts list. My colleagues at the university. My friends. My book club. Subject: I'm in trouble in Syria. Please help. Body: hello, this is Sarah. My boyfriend James is stuck at customs. He tried to use my reputation to scam my friends. He tried to turn me into the scammer. He sent it to everyone, I whispered, tears stinging my eyes. Emily, Dean Miller got this. The head of the department. We'll fix it, Emily said. We'll write a retraction. But first, we secure the bank. Call Chase. Now. We spent the next 6 hours scrubbing my digital life. We enabled two-factor authentication, 2FA, on everything, using an authenticator app instead of SMS. We changed every password. We locked my credit reports with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. I felt violated. It was worse than a burglary. A burglar breaks a window. James had broken my trust and used my own memories to pick the lock. At 9 p.m., I sat in my living room, exhausted. The adrenaline crash was heavy. My phone finally stopped buzzing with spam texts. The attack was over. I looked at the chat window with James on Hangouts. He hadn't blocked me. He was waiting to see if he broke me. I decided to send one last message. You didn't get the bank account. You didn't get the money. And I just took back my email. You failed, student. He replied instantly. You are lucky, Professor. But I still have your photos. I will post them. I will make a fake profile with your face and scam men. You will be famous. It was a hollow threat. Scammers don't waste time on revenge. They waste time on profit. If he couldn't get money from me, he would move on. Posting my photos wouldn't pay his bills. Go ahead, I typed. I'm retired. I don't care about my reputation anymore. But you care about that wallet address I posted on the forums. Good luck cashing out. I blocked him. Finally. Permanently. I leaned back, closing my eyes. I was safe. My money was safe. But I felt a deep, aching sadness. Not for James. I hated him. But for the version of me that existed yesterday. The woman who believed, just for a moment, that a rugged soldier wanted to send her a box of gold. That woman was gone. She had been killed by a reality check. CTA 6, post-climax. This is the reality of modern warfare. It's not fought with guns. It's fought with data. Sarah survived because she had backup. Her daughter. Never be too proud to ask for help. If you think Sarah handled this like a boss, drop a comment saying, secure. Gancho, curiosity hook. I thought the war was over. I poured myself a glass of wine, ready to delete the entire experience from my mind. But the next morning, my landline rang. I picked it up, expecting it to be Emily checking in. Hello. Is this Sarah, last name? A male voice asked. A Texan accent. It wasn't a scammer. Yes. This is Bob Henderson. Apex Auto Repair. You called me yesterday. Oh, Bob. I'm sorry if I caused you trouble. No, ma'am. You didn't cause trouble. You stopped it. But listen, the guy, Dr. Benson? He called me back. He didn't know I talked to you. And he gave me a FedEx tracking number for a package he wants me to forward to you. A package? Yeah. He says it's the documents. But ma'am, I think he sent you something else. Don't open it, Bob, I said into the phone, my voice sharp. If it's from them, it could be anything. A glitter bomb, white powder, or just trash. I ain't scared of a box, ma'am, Bob drawled on the other end. I'm in my shop. I got gloves on. I want to know what these clowns are using my address for. I heard the sound of packing tape ripping in the background. My heart was thumping. This was the intersection of the digital lie and physical reality. Scammers rarely send physical items. It costs money and leaves a trail. If they sent a package, they were either very confident or very desperate to legitimize the diplomatic box story. Well, I'll be damned, Bob muttered. What is it, Bob? It's a briefcase, he said. Cheap leather. Inside, there's a bunch of papers with gold stamps. United Nations Anti-Terrorism Certificate. And a ring. A ring. Yeah, looks like glass. Taped to a card that says, "For my Sarah." I felt a wave of nausea. James had orchestrated this. He had ordered a cheap prop sent to his mule, Bob, to be forwarded to me, so I would have a physical token of his love and the official documents to make me pay the $15,000. It was theater. Bob, I said, is there a return address on the FedEx label? Yeah, Bob said. It don't say Syria. It says Shipping Logistics, Staten Island, New York. New York. They had a domestic handler. The Nigerian team, James, did the talking, but someone in New York was handling the physical logistics. Bob, listen to me. This is mail fraud. It's a federal crime. If you forward that package to me, you become part of the chain. If you throw it away, we lose the evidence. So what do? You take it to the postmaster, I said. Or the USPs. the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. They don't play games, Bob. They have a 98% conviction rate. I'll take it to the sheriff, Bob decided. I don't want this trash in my shop. And Sarah. I blocked their number. But before I did, I told Dr. Benson that the package was seized by the FBI. You should have heard him scream. I smiled. Thank you, Bob. You're a good man. You take care, Professor. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Did you know that? Mail fraud is a federal felony in the U.S. The moment a scammer puts a fake document in the mail, they cross a line that brings in the heavy hitters. Sarah knew this. She didn't just delete the threat, she weaponized the law. If you learn something new, hit the like button. With Bob handling the package in Texas, I turned my attention back to my own defense. The hacking attempt had failed, but it left me feeling exposed. I realized that my isolation was my weakness. I had been fighting this war alone in my study. I decided to go public. Not on the news, but within my community. I went to the university the next day. I walked into the dean's office. Sarah, Dean Miller looked concerned. We got the email. About the boyfriend in Syria. It was a hack, David, I said, standing tall. I was targeted by a romance scammer. I fought back, and he retaliated by spamming my contact list. I expected judgment. I expected the "how could a smart woman fall for this?" look. But David just nodded. It happened to my sister last year. She lost $50,000. I blinked. Your sister. It's an epidemic, Sarah. Nobody talks about it because of the shame. Well, I'm talking about it, I said. I want to host a seminar for the faculty. Digital hygiene and social engineering. I want to bring in a cybersecurity expert. We assume because we have PhDs, we are immune. We aren't. David smiled. Draft the proposal. I'll approve it. I walked out of his office feeling lighter. The shame I had felt reading that plagiarized love letter was gone. I had turned my humiliation into a lesson plan. But I wasn't done with James. I had one last arrow in my quiver. I had his psychological profile. I knew he was arrogant. I knew he was greedy. And I knew he was still watching me, even if I had blocked him. I went to the romance scammer forum where I had posted his wallet address. I wrote a new post, knowing that scammers monitor these sites to see if they've been burned. Topic: Update on Captain Miller/Dr. Benson ring. Post: To the scammer reading this, the package you sent to Texas was intercepted by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service yesterday. They lifted fingerprints from the ring box. They are coordinating with the NYPD to raid the address in Staten Island. The diplomat is about to get a knock on the door. Run. It was psychological warfare. I didn't know if the police would actually raid Staten Island. These things take time. But I wanted him to believe it. I wanted him to call his boss in New York in a panic. I wanted to sow chaos in their ranks. Gancho, curiosity hook. I closed my laptop. I felt a sense of closure. I went to the kitchen to make tea. Then, my doorbell rang. It wasn't the postman. It wasn't Emily. I looked through the peephole. It was a young woman holding a clipboard and a large bouquet of lilies. Delivery for Sarah, she called out. Lilies. My favorite flower. I hadn't told anyone that. Not even James. How did she know? I opened the door a crack, leaving the chain on. Who sent these? The girl smiled. A gentleman. He said to tell you. The professor gives good grades, but she talks too much. I looked at the delivery girl. She was chewing gum, holding the flowers out, looking bored. She wasn't an assassin. She was a gig worker. Who placed the order? I asked, keeping the chain on the door. I don't know, ma'am. I just picked it up from Flowers by Design, downtown. It was an online order. Do you want them or not? I took the bouquet. I closed the door and locked it. I placed the lilies on the table. They were beautiful, white and pristine. My favorite flower. How did he know? Then I remembered. Week 2. He had asked, if I were to plant a garden for you, what would bloom first? I had told him, lilies. He hadn't guessed. He had simply searched his database of facts he harvested from me. I picked up the card again. The professor gives good grades, but she talks too much. My hands didn't shake this time. I analyzed the text. He was referencing my forum post. The one where I warned him about the fingerprint raid in Staten Island. He was telling me he saw it. He was trying to say, I'm still watching. But if he was truly dangerous, he wouldn't send flowers. He would have stayed silent. He would have disappeared. Sending flowers was a tantrum. It was the act of a child who lost the game and wants to flip the board before running home. It was a waste of $80, probably paid for with another victim's stolen card, just to have the last word. I walked to the kitchen trash can. I didn't cut the stems. I didn't put them in water. I dropped the entire bouquet, vase and all, into the bin. It landed with a heavy thud. Class dismissed, I said to the empty room. I went to my computer. I changed my Wi-Fi password one last time, just to be sure. Then I logged into the forum. I didn't reply to him. I didn't post an update. I simply deleted my account. I was done engaging with fiction. It was time to live in the real world. That was the most powerful move she could make. Silence. Scammers feed on reaction, whether it's love or fear. By throwing the flowers away and logging off, Sarah starved the beast. She took back her power. If you agree that silence is the best revenge, hit the like button. 3 months later, the lecture hall at the University of Washington was full. Not with undergraduates, but with faculty, staff, and members of the community. I stood at the podium. Behind me, projected on the giant screen, was the text of the soldier's vow letter James had sent me. Look at the second sentence, I said, using my laser pointer. My love is a journey starting at forever. A ripple of laughter went through the room. It sounds romantic, I continued. But look closer. The font size shifts from 12 to 11. The syntax changes from modern American to Victorian English. This isn't a love letter. It's a Frankenstein monster of copy-pasted lies. I looked at the audience. I spent 25 years teaching you how to deconstruct literature. Today, I'm asking you to deconstruct your life. We live in a world of digital fiction. The profile picture is a costume. The text message is a script. And the crisis, the broken camera, the stuck box, the frozen account, is just the plot twist designed to separate you from your money. I saw Dean Miller in the front row, nodding. I saw Bob Henderson, yes, the mechanic from Texas, watching via the Zoom live stream we had set up. He waved. I was almost a victim, I said, my voice steady. I let a stranger edit my life. But then I remembered who I was. I am the editor. You are the editors. And when you see a bad script, you don't pay for it. You delete it. The applause was loud. It was real. I wasn't Sarah the lonely divorcee. I was Professor Sarah, the expert on digital deception. I walked out of the hall into the Seattle rain. It was pouring, the kind of gray, heavy rain James had pretended to miss. I took a deep breath. It smelled of wet pavement and pine needles. It smelled like the truth. I unlocked my phone. No new messages. No good morning, my queen. Just a text from my daughter, Emily. Dinner at 7? I'm making lasagna. I typed back. I'll be there. I got into my car. I checked the rearview mirror. No black sedans. No spies. Just traffic. I drove away, leaving the fiction behind me. The world is full of storytellers. Some write to entertain, some write to steal. Read carefully. And never, ever pay for the ending. Real life is like this. full of beautiful lies waiting to be bought. But Sarah proved that a sharp mind is the best defense against a smooth tongue. Because you watched until here, I know you want to be part of the solution. So you need to do 3 things. First, leave a powerful like. The YouTube algorithm needs to know that we want to see justice served. Help this message reach the women and men who need it most. Second, subscribe and hit the bell. You guarantee a new story every week right in your feed. Here we bring the raw truth about relationships and money. Third, go down to the comments and tell us, have you ever received a message that sounded too poetic to be real? Did you spot the font change? Share your detective skills below. Remember, 87% of people watch and forget to subscribe. Don't be that person. Knowledge is your best defense. Click subscribe now. Big hug, and keep reading between the lines.